Hello, Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus placements. I hope you're well. Thank you so much for being here. I'm Jen with Timeline Tarot, and this is your full moon in Aquarius message. It is a general collective reading, so as the messages come through today, take what fits, leave what doesn't, because if it's not your message, it simply means it is meant for someone else to hear. And please check your other placements, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus. And if you're not sure what those placements are, in the description box of this video is a link where you can obtain your free birth chart. So Sagittarius for you, and I have your chart pulled up here on my monitor. So if you see me looking that way, that's what I'm looking at. So for you, the full moon in Aquarius will be activating your third house of communication, local community, as well as your mindset. So for you, this moon demands like a mental detox. You will be releasing passive aggressive communication habits of the past or information overload. The primary thing here that will be occurring for you is that you will feel this ability to start to like naturally speak your unorthodox truths very clearly without fear of what anyone will think, particularly your neighbors within that local community. So let's get into this message further now using the Urban Crow Oracle deck. We'll get a baseline message here for you and then dive deeper using tarot. So for the Sagittarius collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus placements, what is their full moon in Aquarius message, and how does this pertain to their third house of communication, local community, and mindset? For the Sagittarius collective, one more shuffle here. Thank you. And we have for you Exposed, card number 17. At the bottom of the deck, we have Bond, card number 6. Exposed. Alone and unprotected, the fledgling is vulnerable to attack. Exposed may indicate you are being thrust into the spotlight and potentially not in a good way, depending on the circumstances. As a result, you may feel helpless and fear possible criticism. Exposed may also point to an open and free opportunity for the taking, as there will not be much in the way of opposition. Exposed speaks to the feelings that surface as a result of feeling vulnerable. Are you comfortable putting yourself out there? Does facing criticism cause you to freeze up? What opportunities have you possibly missed because of a fear of being seen? Exposed may also present itself as a call to examine your situation more carefully as a piece of valuable information is becoming clearer. Something or someone may expose their flaws or weaknesses, and this may prove to be beneficial information to you in the future. Okay. Tell me more about Exposed here, card number 17 for the Sagittarius collective. Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus placements. And how does this pertain to their full moon in Aquarius message as well as their third house? For the Sagittarius collective, tell me more about Exposed. One more shuffle here. Thank you. We have the Ace of Wands, the Magician, and the Emperor. At the bottom of the deck, we have the Ten of Pentacles, which very well could be community or within the construct of very close associations for you, maybe like with family or friends or a partner. In the heart of your spread here, we do have the Magician energy, which is ruled by Mercury, and Mercury rules both Virgo and Gemini. So I feel like there's something here, some information that you are receiving or that you're putting together, and you will be speaking from a place of authority here in the Emperor position. Let's clarify that Ace of Wands. Clarify the Ace of Wands. Okay, that was quick. We have the Queen of Swords, another card of communication. Tell me more about that Ace of Wands. One more shuffle here. Thank you. The Ace of Wands is clarified by the Queen of Swords, the Star, and the Seven of Pentacles. Bottom of the deck, we have the Ten of Wands. Let me get a little bit more on this. Clarify the Magician. One more shuffle here. Thank you. The Magician is clarified by the Seven of Swords, the Ten of Swords, and the Knight of Pentacles. I have so many messages coming in for you. Okay, and the Emperor. Clarify the Emperor here. One more shuffle. Thank you. The Emperor is clarified by the Ace of Pentacles, and I noticed how that card, it almost didn't want to come out, the Ace of Pentacles card. Like there was a little resistance on the pull for me. Six of Swords and the Devil, okay? Bottom of the deck, we have the Two of Wands. Remember what I said at the beginning of your reading. It's a general collective reading. So I have so many channeled messages coming through for you right now, Sag, which I think it's great that I didn't record anything yesterday. I left your cards here with some crystals around them because I just felt like your message was going to be important. And so I'm so glad that I'm doing it today with a clearer mind, even though I really wanted to get the reading out for you yesterday. I'm glad that I had that day of relaxation, but also enabled your deck to sit here with the crystals that I have. So, and they're all along the edge now. You can't, I think they're off camera, but they're all along the edge. So message number one, for those of you where there's some type of skill or something that you do for a living or something that you learn or that you like, and the best example I could give you is like tarot. Maybe you're a tarot reader, or maybe you're just a tarot enthusiast. Maybe you're getting more into esotericism. For those of you where there's something like that along the lines, where there's something that you like, whether it literally has to do with your profession or your job, or maybe it's just some type of like skill or hobby that you have. For those of you where you have felt like you really can't tell your community, you know, friends or family members, or literally the people in your local community you live around, because of maybe like shame or embarrassment, or you thought that they would look at you like you had 10 heads of, oh, you're into tarot, ooh, like that type of thing, like my town did to me. That's why my friend got me that sign back there that says the witch is in, because so many people in my town were like, oh my God, she turned into a witch. It's like, so it's just the example I'm being given. If there's something like that here that you do for a profession or hobby, and you've been keeping it a secret because you feel like people would look at you like it's wrong, or it's shameful, or it's non-traditional, or, you know, it's devil or something like that, I feel like this full moon in Aquarius is allowing you to release any shame or guilt associated with that. And you will be more inclined in the future to expose what it is that you do for a living, or what it is that you just love to do in your spare time or in your private time without fear of persecution. So, and the reason why I say that, it's like the Ace of Wands, this would be something that you work on or that you enjoy, right? Something that is creative or fun, or again, could be associated with what you do for a living. Like maybe there's something you do for a living you're a little embarrassed about. Oh, I don't want everyone to know I'm a housekeeper or something like that. This is like, no, this is you deciding like, no, I'm really proud of myself that I'm a housekeeper. So there's something like that, like you're ridding the shame or guilt or something like that associated with what you do or what you love. So the Queen of Swords to the start to the Seven of Pentacles, it's almost like this unbridled truth of like, I've been doing this for a long time in that Seven of Pentacles, or, you know, I've been interested in this for a long time, or this is how I make my money for a long time. And it makes me very happy and very content in that Star card. And I'm not ashamed of it. I'm not ashamed to say, this is what I like to do. And I just feel like you're more open about this, where maybe in the past you were guarded, or like you didn't want anyone to know. Magician to the Seven of Swords would be like, in the past, if these topics came up or if anyone questioned you about them, you were a bit manipulative, because it's like you didn't want to say. You didn't want to say that you were into blank, or that you do this for a living. Or maybe it's a business idea that you have, but you haven't told people because you think that they might frown upon it. So again, that would be like a deceptive energy here on your part, like, oh, I really can't tell the truth about this. But I see that changing for you with that Ten of Swords to the Knight of Pentacles. I feel like it's been a long journey for you. And if this is your message, you're no longer going to operate that way. You're no longer going to hide, again, what you do for a living, or what you know, like as hobbies, or, you know, maybe some dream that you have that started to the Ace of Wands, like a business that you want to open, like Reiki or something that normal, I'm putting that in quotes, okay? Like, you know, the other people, the traditionalists would frown upon. So Emperor to the Ace of Pentacles, the Six of Swords to the Devil, it's just kind of like standing in your authority and being very proud of yourself. And people who frown upon it or whatever, or don't have a kind thing to say, you're sort of like, there's a door, don't let it hit you on the way out. So it's a very emboldened, empowering energy here. Group number two. There's someone here in your life who's been quite a trickster, and you've known it for quite some time. This could be a friend, a family member. It could be a neighbor, very well someone within your community. It could be a lover for some of you. Whoever this person is, for quite some time in that Knight of Pentacles, they thought that they were like able to like master their words very carefully and kind of throw you off their scent, and you would never figure out who they are or what they're doing or something like that. I feel like the full moon in Aquarius is going to allow you to shed any maybe guilt or fear you had about calling this person out. And it could be a family member, because we're looking at local, right? So local, like within your home, within your family, or again, within your local community. Like, I don't know, maybe the HOA has, you know, been doing stuff with the money or something. I just see you no longer being afraid to call this person out. Again, that Ace of Wands, it's finally like the truth is in your hands, I'm feeling, with that Queen of Swords. Like, you have all the proof, the facts here. The Queen of Swords in your deck is reviewing this document. You're like, I have everything that I need. I'm not lying. I'm not making anything up. Star card to the Seven of Pentacles. I've sat on this for a long time. I've suspected what this person is doing. I've been piecing it all together for the longest time. And so I feel what you're doing is calling this person out. Like, if they try to bamboozle you again or lie to you again, where maybe in the past you kind of like, you let it go, you didn't want the drama, or you weren't ready to confront them on whatever it is here that they're doing, you're very emboldened here because you're like, I have the hardcore facts, Pentacle energy, that Emperor to the Ace of Pentacles. It's like, you can't dispute it anymore. You can't gaslight me anymore. You can't deny it anymore. I know what you've been doing and I am moving on from you. I'm not working here anymore. I don't want to be your friend anymore. I'm selling the house because I don't like living next to you anymore. Like, literally, if it's local community, this could be you telling a partner, I know what you've been doing behind my back, maybe with financial resources, with that Seven of Pentacles there, or maybe they've had, you know, there's cheating or something going on, but this is you not being afraid to confront this person on what they're doing. There's also this feeling here of like, and I'm not going to hold back from telling anyone else what you've been doing either. Like, I'm not afraid to speak the truth anymore. It's a very empowered energy. So we're just going to use the example. You live with someone you've known for a while. They've been cheating on you or stepping out on you or doing something funny with the money. This full moon in Aquarius might give you all the gusto you need to say, you know what? Out of my house. Out of the house. I know what you've been doing. I have all the facts. I have all the figures. And let's say this person departs. And then again, someone in your local community, like a neighbor, says, hey, I haven't seen Mary around a lot, or haven't seen John around. This is you then also exposing that, where maybe in the past you would have covered it up. Being like ashamed or embarrassed of what this person was involved in or what they were doing. This is a very bold and Sagittarius saying, well, Mary or John, whatever their names are, you know, they no longer live here because of ABC, XYZ. And I don't think you're going into a lot of Gemini detail. Like, I don't think you're leaning on your opposite sign of Gemini to get, because Gemini will be like, oh, you got a minute? Let me get a beer. Let me tell you what this person did. I don't think that's what you're doing. I think you're being like super classy here. No offense if you're a Gemini placement watching. I'm a Gemini sun sign, but I know how we can be. Gossip is part of the lower vibration of Gemini. I don't think that's what you're engaging in here. But if someone were to ask you what happened to that person, you have like no fear of persecution here about just telling the truth. Or even if you're not living with this person, let's say you were dating them, or everyone thought you were going to get married, and now suddenly they're like, hey, I don't see you with this person anymore. I don't see them coming around. Again, maybe in the past there was some shame or embarrassment, and you would have said, well, they're just busy working, or, oh, they come over, you just must be missing them, right? That would be like a little lie there on your part, Magician to the Seven of Swords. But now it's just like, I broke up with them because I found out they were doing ABC. It's just like unbridled truth here. And you are the truth teller. You are the truth seeker, and you certainly are the truth teller, Sag. But I do think, at least for the Sagittarians I've known, and one of my brothers is a Sag, they usually, again, like the low vibration of Gemini would be, I heard this. I think this person is doing this. Again, the low vibration kind of goes gossipy, where you, on the other hand, seem to hold all of your cards to your chest until like you have all the facts laid out. And then like, that's when you're like, bam. Like, I always thought, like, if I could put a job description to every zodiac sign, I see Sagittarius as like being like the attorney, you know, like the bossed up attorney, because you gather all the facts, you see the bigger picture, you start connecting the dots, you take as long as you need to do it. There's no rush to judgment. But when you are ready to expose someone, you expose someone. Along that similar theme, I could be speaking to a Sagittarius where you're contemplating writing a book, to be more vocal, more public about something big that you endured. I'm talking big, like institutional here. Like maybe you're a part of some government thing or some large group and there was like nefarious stuff happening. I could certainly see you writing a book about that, about this organization. And again, I think you're going to do it in a smart way. I think you're probably going to redact some names. But the feeling, again, we're going on that message here of like, you are exposing, you are uncovering something. So lots of messages there for you. Obviously, only take the ones that resonate. I think you've been sitting on this for a while, and that Two of Wands, again, either to tell people what it is that you do for a living or do on the side or what you would like to do. For others of you, you know what someone's been up to, but you've been gathering all the facts and information, and this is the moment in time where you are exposing it. For others of you, there's, again, this when I say inquisition, I mean like people inquiring with you, what happened to so-and-so, or why are you no longer with this person, or why do you no longer work at that company? Or again, in the past, it might have been like, oh, you're just not seeing them around, or, oh, I left that place a few months ago and you left it at that. This is more like exposing why you are no longer connected to a situation, environment, connection, person, company, something like that. And like I said, for others of you, it's quite possible with that Queen of Swords, looking at these documents, that you are gathering information to do some type of like tell-all book or something like that. And this would be big, like you would be exposing the Emperor to the Devil. So it's like someone who is in a state of authority or has like a high-ranking position, again, within some type of organization. It could be your homeowner association. It could be, I don't know, some type of dog group that you're part of, There's just something like that. It could be governmental in nature. I just see you collecting the data and the facts. And this would be the time where you would start to actually maybe type it out on a laptop, or again, it's like a draft here of some kind of book exposing the truth about a particular person or organization. And I think that this has the potential in that Ace of Pentacles to make you a lot of money in the future. It's like a tell-all story. And even if this person isn't of huge stature in terms of the public, this could be you just writing a book about maybe something that you dealt with dealing with a narcissist, or being married to a narcissist, or dating a string of people who were abusive. This could be like a self-help guidebook, or a book that offers hope or inspiration to people who are in similar situations like that. Or maybe those of you who have been in a very toxic corporate environment. Again, I feel like you're redacting names because you don't want to get sued. But it seems to be a little bit of it's helping you heal in the Knight of Pentacles energy here. But it's also exposing the truth with that Queen of Swords, and it is creating financial revenue for you. So it's it's helping you heal, it's helping the collective heal, and it's generating long-term financial abundance for you as well. Let's see if we can get anything else on this here for you. So you are definitely becoming more authentic and able to speak these, again, unorthodox truths very clearly, very succinctly, without fear of what anyone thinks. Very boldly standing in your truth. Anything else Sagittarius needs to know about this? One more shuffle. Thank you. What I find interesting about Bond, maybe I should read that card to you, is that there are two birds here, but they're pecking at a heart, which I know could be a little gross. I'm sorry. Let me read the Bond card to you because I feel like it has an important message there in regards to this message, these messages that we just got. But I think for some of you it might be helpful, okay? Number 6, Bond. Aside from a few casual swingers, generally male, crows and ravens mate for life. Bond represents a karmic relationship, a connection that goes beyond our everyday existence. Whether it is a relationship to a person, a career, a place, or a hobby, the soul level connection is deep and strong. You can feel it course within your veins. Bond creates an energy that pulls you closer to where you need to be and will tug you back when you get too far away. When you draw the Bond card, use this as an opportunity to focus on areas of your life that feel deeply connected, because it is here that you find your strength to push forward or to conjure the enthusiasm needed to reach a goal. I think you are going to expose someone. Right behind that, we have isolation, and then we have direction. And then communication. Can't make it up. One, I think you might be, like I said, originally exposing what you do for a living or what you like, and it could just be hobbies or something that you collect that, again, in the past you were embarrassed of. Now you're letting those people within that secret Bond circle of yours, you're allowing them to know, you're going to communicate it. You don't want to feel isolated anymore. You don't want to feel like you've got to keep it to yourself or you're embarrassed. And for others of you, I think you've had a close association, a close bond with a situation, environment, connection, organization, entity. And I do think that you have felt very alone. You've had to keep to yourself what you endured at the hands of this person or these people or, again, this entity. And I do feel like you will be communicating it. I do think that some of you are releasing the truth here about someone. Okay. Anything else? I'm glad that I read that. Anything else Sagittarius needs to know about this very important message? One more shuffle. Thank you. Ace of Cups. Literally everything I said is the truth. The Four of Cups and the Three of Pentacles. Bottom of the deck, the Seven of Wands. Again, whatever it was here that you were like guarded, held back, you didn't want to confront this person, you didn't want to tell people, you didn't want to share what you do, that's all going to change. I think what you realize is that you shouldn't be ashamed of what you do for a living. You did nothing wrong by having this deceptive person or company leave your life. Like, you know, you broke up with them or they left you or you quit or whatever. I think you're done like holding on to the shame or anything about it. And like I said, for others of you, there's a financial component here. And now we have that Three of Pentacles. So there's something financial with you releasing the truth. And again, I don't think on July 29th, you're going to like wake up and be like, oh, I got a book ready. But I think that this starts to set the, it gets those gears turning for you to possibly like write a book or some kind of tell-all. And if you're resonating with that message, I think there's other people who will collaborate with you on this idea. And I do think it can be very financially beneficial to you in the future. But whatever it was that you've been holding on to and holding back from saying, the chains are loose after July 29th. With that full moon in Aquarius. Let's get 3 cards of advice here, please, for Sagittarius. One more shuffle here. Thank you. Your advice. Page of Pentacles. 2 of Wands. 2 cards came out. Devil to the 4 of Wands. Do it. Do it. I don't know. I'm being told to tell you to do it. If there's something you've been doing for a living or learning or enjoying, and you've been ashamed of telling people because they might demonize you, people in your local community, again, 4 of Wands, friends, family members, co-workers, people who literally live around you in your community, do it. I feel like it exposes those people for being small-minded, too rooted in their beliefs to the point where it's like detrimental to the collective. So I think you sharing what you do for a living or what you want to do or dreams that you have, if you've been ashamed of saying it and now you decide to expose what you do, I also think it exposes those toxic people around you. Devil card came up twice for these individuals. Look at that at the bottom of the deck, Hierophant. So again, something that you do for a living or that you like, it's part of you. It's part of your soul's journey. You shouldn't be ashamed of that. And again, by you exposing it, I keep hearing do it. All right, stop. Let me get through the message, please. I do think that it also exposes other people. If you know that someone has been doing some nefarious stuff and you're deciding to move forward with exposing them, I think that there's a big celebration here. I think you feel relieved that you have finally confronted this person on their nonsense. If that has already happened, but you've been hiding from other people what happened, and now suddenly they're starting to ask you what happened to so-and-so, or why do you no longer work there, or why are you no longer collaborating with this person or dating them or whatever. Again, I feel like you're just going to expose this person and like to the community, your friends, your family members, people who live around you. I feel like you are championed for doing this. People are going to say, good for you. I knew she wasn't good enough for you. I knew he wasn't good enough for you. Or I knew that company was crooked. You deserve better. Like, I feel people champion you for walking away from this person or this company. If you're writing some kind of tell-all book, make sure you do your homework. It is a potential for you to make money. Okay, it's an opportunity here for you to increase your income. It could be a little challenging. I don't want to say careful, be very informed about the people that you are collaborating with about this. Like, do your homework on those people. Make sure that they are in no way associated with the entity that you're trying to write about or you're trying to expose. And if it's not a book, maybe you want to write a column or something like that, or do a podcast or a YouTube, video. Just make sure if you're connecting with anyone to help you with this, that they are not in some way connected to that person. That's just your advice. But again, if you were to do that in time, like by Capricorn season, is maybe when like you release the info or the book or the expose or whatever this is, I feel like you are celebrated for that as well. This is A very insightful reading. Not the ones I typically get for Sagittarius. And if you're taking that idea you had that you were ashamed of and you're launching a business out of it, and now you're okay to tell the world, hey, I'm a tarot reader, this is what I do for a living, I think, one, it exposes people within your inner circle, your inner community, who are, they're not good people. They think they're good people because they're shaming you for what you do, but they're not good people. I think, one, it exposes them. Two, by the time you get to Capricorn season, the business you launch now is going to be very successful for you. You'll make enough money. Most of you will want to relocate or update your housing situation. Like maybe you'll want to like renovate or redecorate, or and for others of you, just relocate. Let's close it out now with the Moonology card here, please, for the Sagittarius Collective. The numbers 80 or 47 could be important to someone watching. 80 or 47. One more shuffle here. Thank you. We have the energy is gaining momentum. Waxing moon there, and at the bottom of the deck, a win-win outcome is forecast. Full moon in Libra. I do think you are exposing something here. Either something that you do for a living. Win-win outcome is forecast, because again, you're going to do well. Again, something you do for a living or something that you like. And on the other hand, you're going to expose people for their toxic traits and habits. If you're exposing an actual person, like you're confronting a person on bad behavior, win-win outcome is for you. Libra is the house of marriage, contracts, partnerships, relationships, whether they are professional, platonic, or romantic. I think you're balancing the karmic scales by calling this person out and kicking them out of your life. If anyone asks you what happened to that person, I think you're exposing the truth. Again, win-win outcome is forecast, because the people who support you are going to be more louder. It's like you're going to be cheered that you got rid of that person, or you're going to hear from people like, I'm so glad you left that company. They were so toxic. I knew you deserved better. And I just see it going very well for you. Libra also, in terms of tarot cards, is the Queen of Swords. So if you are writing anything or planning to expose anyone in the future, I do think that you are doing something that is like in the name of justice for the collective, because Libra is, has the scales of justice here. Right behind that, we have the new moon in Aquarius. This is the full moon in Aquarius. New moon in Aquarius will be at the beginning of 2026. I'm sorry, beginning of 2027. So again, if you're doing anything like that, where it's like a memoir or expose or blog, book, video, podcast, something like that, I think you end up seeing financial benefit and reward from it by the time we get. And I had said Capricorn season, which the new moon in Aquarius, don't quote me on that, it's like February 6th or February 7th, something like that, of 2027. So yeah, and that's literally right on the heels of Capricorn season closing. So if you're doing anything like that, I do think that you're seeing some income come in by the end of Capricorn season, by the time we get to that new moon in Aquarius. So fantastic reading for you, exposing something big, either about yourself or about someone else, standing in your truth and being incredibly authentic, Aquarian energy, as we move through this lunar energy and into the future. Congratulations, Sagittarius. It's definitely one of the more interesting reads that I've done in this cycle. If you like that message, it resonates with you, you want to claim all or part of it, please be sure to click like, share, comment, and subscribe. Hype the video on your mobile device if you're able to do that. And don't forget to check out your other placements. Until I read for you again, good luck. And as always, I'm wishing you light, love, and peace.